John. But if you ask me, what am I going to ask? Oh, federal government?
Well, we asked them.
Sorry?
We did ask the federal government.
Okay. Anyway, another issue that the federal government is contending with right now
is COVID-19.
is COVID-19. And principal among those, the concerns right now is vaccine hesitancy, especially in the light of information coming from Europe. The arrival of safe, effective COVID-19 vaccines, of course, is a major development in this pandemic. An effective COVID-19 vaccine will help protect people who come in contact with the virus from becoming sick. There's so much, information to go out that needs to go out to people on that one. But as more people are vaccinated, families and communities will be able to gradually return to a more normal routine after achieving what we call the herd immunity. Some people are asking if the vaccines are safe. Many people actually are asking that question, especially in the light of what's just come from Europe.
Yeah.
Norway and Denmark, I think, saying we need to put a pause on this. And that's coming against the backdrop of a report from the Africa CDC saying that, wait a minute, we might need to have some considerations about it.
But doctors have always told us that everyone reacts differently to a vaccine.
Yes.
And most of the time, there's some kind of reaction. Because after all, they're putting something foreign into your body. And from what they have told us about vaccines, there's actually a bit of the virus that they're trying to prevent you from getting in that vaccination.
Why are you going to have to bring that up?
Well,
I don't want to get coronavirus, and you're putting coronavirus in my... Don't even... Anyway, okay. we have a...
I'm sorry.
We have a couple of medical practitioners to join us this morning. Let's begin the conversation with Dr. Tunji Funsho, who is a cardiologist and chair at Rotary Nigeria's National Polio Plus Committee. He joins us virtually. Thank you very much this morning for joining us, Dr. Funsho. He can't hear us yet. That's the information that I have. But himself, and hopefully when Professor Wale Tomori also joins us this morning, we'll be able to get some clarity because, there's something else troubling that I wanted to bring on the other time. And that's the fact that just in the course of the week, we got this report that Africa Center for Disease Control came up with the survey report of COVID vaccine perception in Africa.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's gone ahead of this vaccine in Africa is a high level of hesitancy, very high level of hesitancy across various regions of Africa. Now,
I'm sure you heard our cameraman when he said he's not taking any vaccine, no?
Don't worry, we'll make it a policy. We'll make it a policy.
Yes, people are skeptical. They've heard all kinds of things about it. And then the news coming from Europe didn't help matters about blood clots,
Yeah.
But if there's one reaction out of 1 million people, that shouldn't be a big deal. And it's not a death, by the way, it's just a reaction. There's been no death reported so far.
No death has been reported so far, but when you also now read that comment from Africa CDC, it raises that concern. And I think it is about time government really took time to address the concerns that people are expressing. Because once those concerns are discussed and people are aware, this is what government is saying.
And the fears will be put to rest.
Fears will be put to rest.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't help what Mr. Sele said the other time about the trust level between government and the people. But let's not go there again. So let's see if Dr. Funsho can hear us this morning. Dr. Funsho, can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Tunji Funsho, can you hear me? Okay. Yes, please go ahead. Hello? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. Can you hear me?
Now.
Hello?
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh dear.
Okay. We'll have to.
We hear him, but he can't hear us.
Well.
What about Professor Tomori?
Well, we're still hoping to get Professor Tomori joined in this conversation. And as soon as that is done, we'll hope we'll be able to talk to him again. Well, some of the reactions that people have said may come, common reactions that may affect more than 1 in 10 and typically get better within days. Includes sore arm, yes, you're right. But I actually...
A needle.
I have a phobia.
That makes 2 of us. Maybe they have to give me a sedative to be able to give me my vaccine.
Could you just cook it in soup?
A sore arm. You could also have a little headache.
Okay, I hear Professor Tomori has joined us. Good morning and thanks for joining us, Prof. He's a professor of virology. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
That's Professor.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get my subsidy for my internet.
Well, you will have to get subsidy out there for your people, your teams that are going to go all over Nigeria vaccinating people. Otherwise, we will not be achieve one of those things that you have, talked about. But let me begin with you, Prof, by talking about something. Again, I'll make reference to that. And I find it very exciting when you talked about it, persuasive communication. I find it very, very exciting because it would seem like it's a challenge getting that word out. It doesn't help when, the information also comes from the Africa CDC report, vaccine perception report, that a very high number of people are skeptical about COVID-19 and COVID-19 vaccines. How then do we begin to persuade people when on the one hand, the perception, that is the perception, number 2, people don't trust government all over Africa. And number 3, the information out there is going to have to come from government.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, all those are factors that are making it difficult for people to accept the vaccine. But I think the first thing is when information comes out, it is important for people to provide the fact about them. I mean, currently, the story we are hearing, 9 countries in Europe have stopped, but then it is not in every of the 9 countries that are having a blood clot or whatever. And the number of cases involved compared to the number of people vaccinated is so tiny. And that's why it is important for us to give the accurate data to the people. For example, over 300 million people have been vaccinated now. And how many cases of blood clot are we talking about? And when you compare the normal cases of blood clots in the normal society, it's even much less than what you're getting. I mean, they get about 1 to 2 blood clots on a regular basis amongst 1,000 people. In this case, you are getting 1 out of about 130,000 people. So I think we need to put all those facts in perspective. And those who know should be able to give that information to people. People will naturally panic, but it's for us to bring those facts to let them know that what is happening is not what is being reported. Like I said, of the 9 countries that have stopped it, it's not in all the 9 of them that they have the problem. They are just doing what they call precautionary and waiting for information to come out. The world body has said so far, and other countries, Spain and others, nobody is reporting that one. The other countries that are not stopping, why are they not stopping? People should be able to get that information to people. That's the first thing. As for trust of our government, it's not something we're going to do with COVID. It's something that's been on for ages. And I think this government, or previous government, or this government, has to redeem itself by telling the people the truth about everything. Right now, in this country, none of us can tell you.
What you've just said now, I don't know. I don't even know how to begin to take it. So, because it is not just for COVID-19 that the trust deficiency is low. It is anything from government at all. And, so long as it is coming from government, people take it very, very skeptically. Of course, in defense of government, when we spoke with the national incident manager for COVID-19 yesterday, Dr. Mohammed, he was saying that even though people trust television the most and trust government the least, his argument is all of the information that TV is putting out is coming from government. So, one is wondering...
Sorry, I didn't get that. All the information that TV is putting out?
Well, in that Africa CDC report,
yes,
it is said that people trust news from television the most and trust government sources the least.
Yes.
67% for television, 18% for government sources. But Dr. Mohammed, the National Incident Commander, said all the information that people are trusting on television is coming from government sources. So how do we now begin? Yes, go ahead.
That is not correct. That is not correct, that all the information, the television sources from so many, they get the information from so many sources. Government is only one of the sources. So let him not say all the information. I think that's the first, another lie that the government is telling, that people have to be careful about. How can you say all the information that you get is from the government? Is that true? It's not. You source your information from other sources. So you can't tell me that is all the information that comes from the government. So this are beginning to see that when people don't tell the truth or cover half the truth, you never trust them. And trusting our government is something, I hope they will start with this COVID thing, because they've created a record of lack of trust from ages before. And again, when you talk about the TV, when you report that something is happening somewhere, most of the time the reports you get are true, are confirmed. But today, see what we are talking today, you're talking about subsidy. Government is saying one thing, the MPC is saying one thing. We don't know what is happening. Even on this issue of the vaccine, how much is our government buying? Are they buying anything? Are they waiting for donation? They're not telling us. Those are the things we're talking about. Inform the people, give them the right information. The figures we're getting on COVID in our country, how true is it? At one time, the PTFA will tell you, oh, we're not testing, that's why we're not getting. At another time, say, oh, the thing is dropping and down. So we've never trusted our government, and the government has never given us reason to trust them, because they never tell the complete truth. And that's the problem. Like the one I'm saying now, 9 countries have stopped testing. But it's not all the 9 countries that have blood clots. We need to analyze those data and inform them. I listened to one of our senators saying that this government has not done right by only purchasing Astra because of the efficacy. But it's not efficacy only you're talking about. You're talking of cost. You're talking of the ability to store the vaccine. So even if the vaccine has 99% efficacy and you don't have the facility to store it, why will you buy it? These are things we need to let our people know. Give all the information, all the facts, and then people can analyze and make up their mind. Not just one aspect, then let the people decide on that.
Okay. Now, Dr. Funsho, still talking about vaccine skepticism, don't you think that the president haven't taken his dose in full view of the whole country, the vice president, and then in the various states who have received their portions? Some of them have received their vaccination in front of the TV cameras for everybody to see. Isn't that enough to actually engender confidence in the people and make them come forward when it is their turn?
Ideally, that should be it. In fact, I was one of those suggesting, like others, that to remove the doubt from our people, let our leaders go there and partake in it. But because you have an underlying distrust of the government, even the ones they are showing, people are saying different things about them. Am I sure it's the vaccine? Am I sure it's this? Is it the same one I'm going to get? Because underlyingly, the trust has not been there. You can't repair trust in one show. It must be a consistent activity of government. Follow up on this. Now we are told, go, some of us are registered and go to a particular place. You get there, they say, oh no, it's only meant for workers, health workers. Oh, the vaccine has not arrived. Why? Inform people, give them the full information. That's what people believe in. And as I said, if the foundation is already based on lack of trust, one action is not enough to change people's mind. it must be consistent. We must continue to do it all the time.
They challenge, my apologies, Alero. Prof, we will take a short break in a little bit. But this trust quotient that you're talking about now, and that you're not talking about it for the first time, one wonders if it is justifiable sometimes for government to keep some information, give some, but keep some just for some security reasons, whatever other reasons, one doesn't know. But I would like you to please speak on the issue of persuasive communication again on this matter, so that both government and the people will be able to know how to approach this. Because unless, from what your specialists have told us, unless we achieve herd immunity, we'll still continue to struggle with all of these. But we'll take that on when we come back from this break.
This is what life looks like at Flourish Residences. Serene and secured environment. Exam is around the corner. There is space to run around, outside and inside. There is space for the real house owner. Even squatters have space. So, did I tell you at Flourish Residences, we have recreation center. From here to the mall is just 2 minutes.
Luxury can be affordable with 15 million naira initial deposit and spread balance for 12 months. This beautiful 4-bedroom terrace duplex in Shangotedo can be yours. For more information, please call.
My name is Glory of God. I'm the weather. This is my workshop. I started the business year 2000 with small workshop and 2 staff. When I meet Adron 6 years ago, that's how my life changed. 2 staff come to 20 staff. I be landlord from away before. When Adron give me contract, I entered their estates. I say, wow, Lekki in Shimawa. The following day, I take my wife to their estate. She fall in love. That's how we leave my house from away as landlord. Come to tenant in Treasure Park Phase 1, Shimawa. I come meet the GMD of Adron Homes. Now so I begin to do all their iron work for all their estates. Aton, Shagam, Ibejuleki, Abeokuta, Ibadan, Imota, Shimawa. I gather money for this work to build my own house for Adron Estate, Treasure Park, Phase 1, Shimawa. I give my family better environment to stay. Adron, I thank you.
Adron Homes, making the incredible affordable.
COVID-19, a new strain of virus from the family of coronaviruses, has been recorded in over 200 countries, areas, and territories around the world. The highly infectious virus is transmitted primarily via droplets of saliva or discharge from the nose of an infected person through coughing or sneezing. These droplets can then be acquired by anyone in close contact through breathing in the droplets or by touching objects and surfaces with the droplets and then touching the nose, mouth, or eyes. While it's been said that some infected persons may not display symptoms, common signs of COVID-19 infection include dry cough, fever, sore throat or diarrhea, and difficulty in breathing. Do you or someone close to you have these symptoms? Call the following numbers. It could be rowdy, sometimes dirty, and most times very confusing.
It's not about me. I'm a journalist. Yeah. And I'm not far from being a journalist. No, you're a politician in this sense.
Every day we go in search of the truth, getting all sides.
Can we have some different money?
What I'm saying, Nigeria is like a car parked for 8 years. Now you need.
We try to help you make sense of it all, so you can make informed decisions. Because politics will be about the people. And that is our goal. Politics Today, 7 p.m. every weekday. And Sunday Politics, live, 8 p.m. on Sundays, only on Channels Television.
Thank you for staying with us. Beg your pardon, Professor Tomori. So, persuasive communication.
Yes, sir.
Who is going to play what? Yeah, who is going to play what role now in this one?
First of all, I think the greatest persuader is the truth. So long as you keep the truth and you let people know your capability, I'm able to do this, I'm able to do that. Let them know. I mean, don't overpromise. This is what we are capable of doing, and this is why we're not doing this. These are the reasons. People are intelligent. Don't assume they're stupid people. We are able to do this. We have the capacity to do this. We are not able to do this. So they explain to them. They'll understand and appreciate. It may take a longer time, but you have trust built in so that when you say we are doing this, then they believe what you're saying. I think once the foundation is the truth, and that's the greatest persuader. It may be unpalatable. It may not show you in the room where you are, but at the end of it all, you gain. And that's the important thing. And to me, I keep saying, let the government tell us the truth about everything. Again, I keep referring to just the interview you had before you came. Whom will you believe? Is it NNPC? Is it the government? Is it who? Because people have never told the truth to each other. We have lied to ourselves. Government has lied to us. And that's the foundation. And that's why we are where we are today. We must begin. COVID should give us an opportunity to begin now to tell the truth as it is. And gradually we will win the people back and persuade them when we say, let us go and do this thing. Then they know the person they are talking to. You can trust him.
Okay. Dr. Funsho, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Great. Now, okay, apart from this blood clot that some countries in Europe are talking about, what kinds of reactions are we expecting to see when we start taking the vaccination?
Well, vaccines, I think we should put this in the context, of vaccines that we have been using for decades. Billions of children have, continuously been immunized against diphtheria, tetanus, mumps, meningitis, measles. And we know that generally, because it is apart from pain at the site of the injection, a little bit of swelling, which is a normal reactive thing, the immune response usually will generate a little bit of, fever and some discomfort. Some people may have flu-like symptoms for about a couple of days, 3 days, sometimes a week, but they're usually not serious side effects. Some of the side effects that are being reported, with the COVID-19 vaccine have not, been something that are new to vaccines. Other vaccines have produced, similar kind of side effects. I mean, the common one, the most dramatic one is the one we call anaphylaxis, where the body overproduces certain chemicals in reactions to usually proteins in the vaccines, and they have swelling around their throat, difficulty in breathing, and sometimes, acute lowering of blood pressure, and the people may collapse. Those are rare occurrences, and it occurs across the spectrum of all vaccines. It is not peculiar to the AstraZeneca. It has been reported with the Pfizer vaccines, as well, that has been used extensively in the United States. So these side effects are expected. The other context I want to put this into is that they have been reported during the clinical trials. And the expert review committee that, is made up of experts who are independent of any government or WHO, who are well-recognized and well-respected people in their chosen fields in medicine, are the ones who look at the results of these clinical trials and come to the conclusion of, after doing a risk-benefit analysis, that the risks are not enough to disqualify a vaccine. And it's a very rigorous process. I can tell you, for instance, that the COVID-19 vaccine, as of the end of last year, had 200 candidates. In other words, prospective vaccines in the works. Only 52 got to the point where they can go to clinical trials to assess their efficacy and also their safety. And as you go along the line, a lot of them will fail the, very stringent, codes that have been set up to ensure that the vaccines are being particularly safe. As I speak, as of the end of February, I think there are only 7 licensed, albeit, temporary licensing of COVID-19 vaccine. You can see the mortality. So there's a lot of effort put in to ensure that vaccines are safe before they get licensed.
Okay. Professor, you are a professor of virology. Let me put this question to you point blank. Is this vaccine safe?
Yes, with the report that is there, and I will give you a point blank answer. Yes, it is safe. I mean, we look at over 300 million people have been vaccinated. And how many side effects are we getting? I mean, these are things that people need to know. Like Rotary and Funsho said, there is nothing that has no side effect. And it is the relative situation. Take the case of polio, for example. Out of 2 million people that get the polio vaccine, 1 or 2 may develop the polio itself. Are you going to, because of that, refuse to give the over 2 million other people who will be protected? So life is a balance. And you weigh the balance and say, okay, yes, I have reaction. And like he said, if my body, if I don't get a fever, if I don't get a swelling, then something is wrong with my body. The body is normal reaction to what we are getting. So the vaccine is safe. There are side effects. They don't last that long. And one other point I think that Roger Funsho mentioned about anaphylaxis. There are some people who react to something. Some people don't eat eggs. Some people don't take shrimps. So when you know you are going for vaccine, let your doctor know what your allergies are. These are important things. And some of these things we are getting are allergic reaction to those people who have their own specific problems. If you tell your doctor what your allergies are, then they will know what to give you ahead of time. I was talking with the DG NAFDA. She said she's allergic to certain things, and she informed the MPCA people, please get your epinephrine ready, because I know I'm allergic to 1 or 2 things. That's the way things are done. Supposing she had not, and she had collapsed with anaphylaxis, NPC director, NAFDA director collapses, don't take it. These are issues that we need to take note of.
Well, it's interesting when you put it that way, because unfortunately also, Prof, that very, very many people in this part of the world don't even know what allergies they have. Many people don't know what they can react to. So how do we balance that?
We education, and let people know. I mean, why are you not? I mean, some of us, they know, even although they may not be able to say it, they know I don't touch eggs. Because that's your allergy. And these are the kind of thing to educate our people to know that because there are some of these things that are being produced, the drug you're getting may contain part of what you are allergic to. So it's education. I mean, there's nothing else. We need to educate people that you can be allergic to things. I mean, some people don't take shrimps, they don't take this, they'll tell you don't. I mean, if they know that when they go to the restaurant and they say, anything with fish, I don't touch it. Well, so why? It's a matter of education, simple.
Sorry, Dr. Funsho, this angle that you both have brought to this conversation of allergies, reactions occasioned by allergies, a very, very small percentage of Nigerians would be watching this program now, and perhaps another percentage may get this information after we have had this conversation. So some of them may not get the information before they have to take the vaccines. What are the things that need to be known or done before taking the vaccines? Yes, the vaccines are safe, but people need to take precautions, just as you both have advised. So what are the things that people need to begin to do now? What are the information that they ought to be aware of about themselves before taking the vaccines?
I think number one is about the allergies. Young people who are not aware of their allergies can ask their parents. Because sometimes, as a child, you could be allergic to certain items. As you get older, those allergies become milder. They don't present the same kind of severity. So if you don't know whether you have any allergies or not, I think, you should ask your parents. or your whoever is your guardian, who brought you up, who will be able to tell you, oh, yes, if you ate fish when you were young, you come up in rashes or get breathless or your lips, swell up and things like that. But then the other thing is that post, vaccination, as I'm sure that has been, well publicized, is that, you should sit and wait for 15 minutes, because usually the kind of severe allergic reactions that we're talking about will happen within that kind of time frame, and you can be quickly resuscitated, or taken, to the kind of care that you require. So to know your status, ask somebody who knew you when you were young, because you may have outgrown that allergy, but, certain new proteins, particularly if they are injected, may provoke that allergy again, even though you've not had it, as an adult. But very important is the fact that that 15 minutes window that has been created from the time you get the shot, the vaccine, to 15 minutes must be observed, because usually those kind of severe reactions that are life-threatening do occur within that 15 minutes window.
Okay. Well, I just got...
May I also add?
Yes.
Sorry, may I also add that once you know your allergy, it is important for you to ask your doctor, I'm allergic to this, and let them know. What you're giving me, does it contain that? Does it contain that? It is, if you know it from your parents, it's also important for you to let your doctor know that now I know I'm allergic to eggs. What you're giving me, does it contain egg product or something of that nature? Is it both ways? So that way we can help ourselves and prevent any disaster that may come.
Okay. Well, I just received a photograph from the Deputy Speaker of Ekiti State House of Assembly, and he's holding up, he just got his vaccine this morning, and he's holding up a card saying, COVID-19 vaccine is safe and effective. So if our leaders are lining up and taking this vaccination, I don't see why anybody should still have any doubt. And I have a tweet here from Festus Akinboiwa, who lives in the UK, and he says, no cause for alarm. I had the Oxford vaccine while my wife had the Pfizer vaccine, and we have been bouncing since then. Everyone who wants to live should take it.
Well, one interesting thing that also comes in this conversation, Dr. Funsho, is the conversations we've been having about a homegrown solution. Professor Tomori talked about the NAFDAC DG earlier, who's been advocating for that for as far back as I can remember, So in terms of this homegrown solution, Dr. Funsho, how far away do you think, just off the top of your head, how far away do you think we are from it, and how difficult can it be?
I'll take the last. Difficult, there can be no difficulty. We have the technology. We have the personnel. I mean, you're talking to, in the presence of Professor Tomori, one of the topmost virologists in the world. So we don't lack the personnel. We don't lack the knowledge. What we lack is the investment. So how long it's going to take depends on how much time and resources we're willing to invest. These things, are no more rocket science. Vaccine development is not rocket science anymore. Already in this country, there are people who are working, on molecular biology beyond the realms of even vaccines. So it is not going to be a difficult thing for us, to set up. We used to produce vaccines in Yaba in Lagos, yellow fever vaccine, if some of you may recall. So it's the investment and the seriousness to ensure that when we start, we don't abandon. And I think, if we put all of those things together, in a couple of years, I mean, vaccine production, like I said, is not rocket science. We can start with the people we'll have, with the resources that are available, and put in more resources and have a proper work plan and a timeline. It can be achieved in the shortest possible time.
Okay. Professor, I have a question for you from a viewer who tweets. By the way, the name is Yemi Alade, and he's asking, is it safe for a psoriasis patient to take the vaccine?
Is it safe for who?
Psoriasis. Psoriasis patient.
Psoriasis, that's people who have I think I'll defer that to Dr. Funsho. That's more medical than virology.
Okay. Dr. Funsho?
Yes. Well, psoriasis is one of those, conditions that, are produced, by allergy. Is your immune system, that goes berserk and attacks your skin. So psoriasis, yes, that is an allergy. So you must let them know that you have an allergy if you have psoriasis.
Well, still talking about allergies, Festus Akimboyewa's second message says in the UK, all allergies are recorded in our medical records that can be accessed by medical practitioners anywhere in the UK. Do you think that is something we can do in this nation?
Well, there's what we call pharmacovigilance. And this is one of them. I believe last year sometime, the DG of NAFDAC unveiled an application, an app, that people can use in reporting adverse side effects. Pharmacovigilance also includes putting things, because if you're allergic to something, generally that is under the purview of whether it's NAFDAC, whether it's FDA in the United States, or the British medicine and pharmaceutical regulatory agency. You have a portal where you can go and report this, so that it can be part of an international data. So pharmacovigilance is something that I think we should pay a little more attention to, so that people know that if you react to something, particularly drug or pharmaceutical products, there is an avenue by which you can report it to the authorities. And I don't know if this app is fully functional, that NAFDAC unveiled last year. But then if you have it, you use it, it will help NAFDAC also, and also WHO, to be able to call in at some point in time that, this drug, is causing so much, issues, that I think we need to have another look at it and maybe withdraw it from the market. And that has happened to, a few medications. The most famous in the past was thalidomide, that was causing deformity in children some 5 decades ago. So pharmacovigilance is very important, and reporting of allergy will be part and parcel of that.
Yeah. So the long and short of this discussion is the vaccine is safe. That would be a correct conclusion, Doctor and Professor?
Yes, very correct. I agree with you. Sorry, before you go, I just wanted to add one or more things. What Dr. just said about pharmacovigilance and the app involves us. The app will not work without us saying it. If you keep it yourself, nobody knows. And that kind of guidance. So it involves our participation. This morning I was reading in the newspapers about Afebarola University doing some endovascular repair. And it just occurred to me, is this something new? First time in Nigeria. And I went back to check this, and I found that this thing I've been in for the last 25 years. Why is Nigeria not getting it now? It's a matter of the environment and the equipment. Afebarola has the equipment now, not that he didn't have the talent, he could do it. I think just to buttress the point that we're saying, that it is our environment that creates the problem for us. Once we have a conducive environment, we can make all the vaccines, anything that we want to introduce. We've done it before. But now we have a toxic environment in our country that makes the talent not to function effectively. These are the messages I think we need to keep passing to our government to let them know that they are responsible for the state of underdevelopment that we have in this country.
You just opened another chapter.
Can I just add also that at the end of the day, this is our best vaccine for now.
Yeah.
Please, this is our best vaccine for now, because before we reach, that state where we have herd immunity, and we're talking about 70%, will be another 12 months at the least. So please, for now, this is our vaccine. Let us wear it when we're out of our bubble.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the conversation, well, for joining in this conversation, gentlemen. Professor Wale Tomori is Professor of Virology. He joined us from Ibadan virtually, as well as Dr. Tunji Funsho, who is a cardiologist and chair of Rotary's Nigeria National Polio Plus Committee. He also joined us from Lekki. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and your thoughts this morning.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Sunrise is back in a moment for another issue that government is taking on. Stay with us.